Of course, the Senate Minority Leader, James Orengo, has withdrawn the membership of ODM, or the minority party, in the CPAIC, and that means you are not a member of that committee. Maybe you cannot be a chairperson. What is the correct position as far as you're concerned?
I think you just read it, and it's good to read it in simple English. He indicated that they intend to. An intent is not an actual resolution. I'm a little bit apprehensive because I participated in the election. In fact, in 2 elections, it was very contentious in terms of the people who would be given an opportunity to serve from the NASA part. And ordinarily, the minority party would appoint individual senators who would be able to go and represent the coalition in that committee. But because it became very, very difficult for the minority party to be able to select a number of senators. So we were subjected to an election on the 20th of April. And during that day, I was very honored by my colleagues who gave me over 14 votes. And Ochilo Ayako also got 14 votes. Senator Mwaruma got 11 votes. And Senator from Kisii got 10 votes. After having that election, we were now subjected to the second election, which is the one of me being elected as a chairperson. And what transpired is something which is well known between myself, the minority leader, and also all the members of the minority party. Because we went in, it's a democratic process, and there's no way you can say that the party, unless the standing orders are changed, there's no way a party can be able to say, this is the person who we want to be the chairperson. It is now the responsibility of the members, and we were 9 members, which is made of the Jubilee members and also the NASA members, to be able to elect a chairperson. Because at that point, we no longer have an ODM committee on PAC and a Jubilee committee on PAC. We have a Senate committee on PAC, which is responsible in ensuring a fiduciary duty, ensuring that the money that 47 million Kenyans pay, and that money is now sent to county governments, is actually utilized.
Senator, let me cut you short, because you tell me that in those elections of 20th of April, yourself, Ochilo Ayako, scored 14 votes, then Mwaruma got 11 votes, and Senator, did you say Orengo or Ongeri? Ongeri got 10 votes.
Senator Ongeri got 10 votes.
How then did you end up with the nominees being yourself and Senator Ongeri, bearing in mind, looking at the numbers, if they are correct?
Okay, because there are only 4 members. In fact, the total number of people who expressed an interest to serve in that committee were about 10 people. So out of the 10 people, the NASA members of the Senate are about 28. The people who voted on that particular day were 23 people. And my colleagues believed that I could do a good job, and they gave me 14 votes. They also believed that Senator Ochilo Ayako could do a good job. They gave him 14 votes. There are only 4 members. I don't know whether you had Senator Kajwang clearly telling you that the minority side of the Senate submit a list of 4 members, and the majority brings in 5 members. So we all 9 members. So out of the 10 people who showed an interest, the 4 who got the more votes are the ones who are afforded to be able to serve as members of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee.
And therefore, this outcome of this election appears not to be in favor of the position that the minority party would have wanted. What has happened? Because there are only 2 candidates, that is yourself and Senator Ongeri.
That actually is troubling. It's troubling for democracy, because when it comes into an election, and we have been in the forefront, saying that an election has been stolen. Why then would my election now be stolen? One of the things that I take offense with the minority leader, and I actually called him on it, is that he wrote a letter and he said he expressed dissatisfaction, which means, in simple English, is that he had a particular person in mind to become the chairperson. And that is not democracy. That is pure dictatorship, which cannot be allowed to survive in this country.
But Senator, bearing in mind that you are in that committee to represent the minority party in the oversight role of the Senate, don't you think your language is a bit too strong? Because I'm taking a look at some of the tweets that you've been releasing. Let me just take you through. And you say that, let me just get that correctly, that the Maasai are not fence-sitters. We are Kenyans, and one day we will lead this country. Double standards, no poison is reserved for any person. Let's respect democracy. Isn't there a better way of handling this instead of going to antagonize everybody online?
It is not about antagonizing anyone. It is about defending what is rightfully yours. And this is a position that every Kenyan out there who is listening must always be able to stand up for what is right. The fact that we were not able to agree, just on who could be able to serve the minority party in that committee, and resulted into an election, speaks volumes. So the truth of the matter is this: the Maasai community has got a role to play in this country. I was elected by over 126,000 voters to represent them. So me being in the Senate is not a privilege, but it's a right. And me having been voted by my colleagues, they believe that I do a good damn job. But when Senator, I took offense,
Senator, don't you think?
Let me finish.
Okay. Don't you think you're making a situation?
I took offense because when we voted, when we made changes to bring in Senator Orengo, who is my very good friend, to become the minority leader, we actually sat down there and decided as the coalition partners that we wanted a change of leadership.
Okay.
Now, when we wanted a change of leadership in the CPAIC committee, also the minority part of the Senate sat down and made a decision to elect, because it was becoming impossible. So when we were elected, then we let democracy play its role. Let me put it this way, Sam, to you. We come and go. And I think it's about time that we all accept the truth that for us to become a nation that can be able to leave a good legacy, we must be willing to accept decisions. I made it very clear to my very good friend, Senator Orengo, that I was a little bit upset because of the fact that he wrote a letter to the Speaker and disputed an election which is clearly defined in the standing orders on the process. That is not only casting aspersion on the integrity of all the 9 members, but also on the institution of Parliament, which is headed by the Speaker and the clerk.
And Senator, I wanted to ask you, don't you think you're making a personal issue to be a community issue when you invoke your ethnicity? And secondly, there are those that feel that you struck a deal with the majority party. I see a tweet here of Senator Kipchumba Murkomen saying that congratulations, my friend Ledama and Kimani Wamatangi, on your election as chair and vice chairperson. And you respond by saying that we are equal to the task and we will serve Kenyans diligently. Any person looking at the political prism would see what would appear to be you working with the majority party to ascend to the chairmanship. I mean, how does that portray you, even as you fight for your chairmanship?
Your statement in itself is contradictory, because when we're in the Senate, we have to adopt things in a bipartisan approach, because there's no way the minority, which only has 4 members, can be able to come up with resolutions that ensures a fiduciary duty. When we are elected, when we go there to serve in the committee, we are no longer ODM or NASA or Jubilee. We are a committee of the Senate. In most cases, the reason why I believe the majority leader congratulated us is because we have always worked in a bipartisan way. There's no way that we in the minority or the majority can achieve. They cannot be able to get enough votes. A good example is when we're impeaching, Governor Waitito. When we impeached Governor Waitito, it was a bipartisan approach. Okay. So unless we change our standing orders, to be able to say that the minority party will be able to select and forward a name of an individual who is going to be the chairperson, then I don't think anybody should be contesting my election as a chairperson. And then the other thing, to respond to your allegation that I struck a deal, what kind of a deal? Even Senator Kajwang, when he was the chairperson, He was elected by both the NASA coalition members and the Jubilee coalition members. And finally, I thought we past all this nonsense of Jubilee and ODM. I thought the handshake brought in a process whereby we bring in, we move forward. You know, I have a lot of respect for my party leader.
Okay.
And I have a lot of respect for the president. And I think it's about time that we accept that the younger generation is also equal to the task and be able to do. If you look at my house, the back here, those are 47 county reports that we've been working on. Senator Kajwang and myself did a fantastic job in the last
session.
In the last session as members of the NASA. Our colleagues,
and so, Senator, because
Senator Kibiro and Senator Linturi and Senator Omanga and all the other members, Senator Dulo, Senator Faki, Senator Ongeri, we all did a fantastic job. Why not allow this young man who was dedicated, you know, his time to ensure that we call for fiduciary duty? Why don't we become democratic enough to allow a difference of opinion?
Senator, unfortunately, we are running out of time, but allow me to ask you this one last question. Now that the party has expressed intention to withdraw the membership from that committee, if they withdraw your name, then you cease being a chairperson or even contesting for that leadership. What are your options? Have you spoken to the higher authorities within the party?
My friend, there is no higher authority within the party when it comes to the Senate issues. Of course, I'll do the courtesy of speaking to the leader of my party, whom I have a lot of respect for, who have put my life on the line for him. But the issue is this. We've got our standing orders. Let us go by the standing orders. Let us defend the Constitution that we have all been fighting for. Senator Orengo, who is my very good friend, you know, he's 30 years my senior. I have grown up, you know, admiring him for his resilience. And he should also be willing to accept the resilience and the determination. But this is a fight that I'm not prepared to lose. I'd rather be accused of having failed, but tried.
Senator Ledama of Narok County, thank you so much for speaking to us on Daybreak. And of course, he continues to fight for his tenure. He was elected yesterday to lead the committee of the County Public Accounts and Investments Committee. And of course, that has been contested by the minority leader of the minority party, that is Senator James Orengo. He says that there is intention to withdraw the membership of the minority party in that committee. And of course, most of them, all of them actually, are from the ODM party. We will wait to see what happens. The Senate has written to the Speaker for those instructions. We wait to see how that resolves. So thank you so much for watching Daybreak since 6 o'clock until this moment. I believe Zinzi Kibiko will be back at 9 o'clock with the